Well, girls, you'd better be in a good mood because I've got a new one here, and let me tell you, it's depressing. So, here's a magazine on the economy about the mobility of managers. As far as I know, managers are both men and women, but in here they're only men. Let's have a look. A man. Oh, a woman. Who appears again here? The same. A man. Another man. Another man. Ah, a woman. Well, when it's about dependence and assistance, there's a woman. And here we see a little boy.
So it means in the whole document, there's only one woman.
Only one woman.
One who is blurred and a nurse. First, I would say that it really was a good idea to publish this book this year. It was the first study of this kind about the image of women in the media. So, I can give you the figures again. The media mentions 17% of women against 83% of men. 1 woman in 3 remains anonymous against 1 man in 7. 1 woman in 3 is mentioned without her occupation being specified against 1 man in 10. And 1 woman in 6 is shown as a victim against 1 man in 14.
And everybody was surprised to see that 5 years later nothing much had changed. It was now only 18%, but because we had more women ministers, we could have presumed, as powerful people are more often mentioned, that the figures would increase a lot. So it's a real disappointment on that point.
Yes, so this year we did the same study, but on one single day, to see the improvement. It's almost the same. We have moved from 17 to 18%.
Which means that to reach equality...
Well, I've made the calculation. 1% every 5 years. We'll have to wait 160 years to see women reaching 50%. Right, we still have a lot of work to do.
No, it doesn't fit with reality.
So when women have a professional occupation, it's said in the masculine form, especially when it's a highly ranked occupation. So this reinforces the fact that women are invisible in the media.
Right, when they introduce a member of the academy or a bank director or...
It's as if it wasn't appropriate for a woman to be in such a position. It looks like they wanted to say to the women that they're not in the right place when they're in positions where they have to take decisions.
Thank God we're here.
In television as well, we can notice the same way of discreetly making the women vanish or underappreciating their function. And when we find them, I'll show you a small excerpt of a TV news edition. When we find them, and when we compare the way they're interviewed and the way that men are, well, you can see for yourself. It was during the Pope's visit to Israel.
Shepherds of the year zero, they live today in this cosy house on good terms with their Muslim neighbours, who are the majority, and with whom they like to share the Sunday barbecue.
There's no difference between Muslims and Christians.
She's definitely not introduced, you must have noticed.
We don't know who she is.
We don't know her name.
We visit each other, we go to their place, they come to us.
She doesn't say anything. She's filmed just like
Leo,
this.
the father of the family, is also proud to be a
But he's got a name and a
And
function.
he is proud.
And what a function, the father of a family.
Preparing as a volunteer among priests, patriarchs, popes and other nuns,
And other
the
nuns.
Pope's visit to his good city of Bethlehem. Johannes Paulus II's religious office...
We see him in action. We could say like his wife, but it is not the same kind of action.
Yes, and they stayed with him for a long time. And they chose the best shots.
And here,
And this is very important politically and regarding justice.
I'll stop here because she talks about cooking, about family. We're a family, and he talks about politics.
Justice.
About justice.
Serious things.
Right.
I've drawn an organisational chart from Le Monde. I chose Le Monde because it's a reference among the daily newspapers. So, the women come in pink and the men in green. Well, here we are. You can easily see the proportions. It's not because there are more women in the press hierarchy that the image of women will change. There are still a lot of stereotypes.
There's no women at the top of the hierarchy.
We don't know. I mean, the link is not so obvious. It is to say, it's a question of the training of the journalists.
Yes, here's an idea to be
And when
debated.
there are women at the top of the media hierarchy,
Yes, how do they behave?
they act as men do.
If they make the choice to behave in a different way than the people in the company, it's what we can see in the companies. There are rules to be observed, and as a woman, if you don't follow the rules, you'll be kicked out. So if you have any chance to reach the top, you're not going to get everyone against you before getting there. So the question is definitely how many women should have reached the leading positions before things can change. And for the moment, there's less than 10% of women among the newspaper's directors.
Anyway, it's probably linked, well, certainly linked to the fact that information is a power, and that those who get the power try to keep it. Well, women in politics have absolutely the same problems. They face the same obstacles.
I mean, when I read a daily newspaper, and there are 3 pictures of women inside it, I feel it's a daily newspaper full of women. I don't know if you feel the same way, just 3 articles or a picture on the front page and 2 articles, as if every time we suddenly get more than these famous 18%, we have the sensation of an inflation of women. This may explain why a lot of journalists sincerely think there's a lot of women, because as soon as you mention women, it's enough for one to believe there's a lot of women and a lot of women among them. I've really been impressed by the fact that when I put the question to journalists, how many women journalists, what percentage in the profession, I hear some really huge proportions, very far from reality. It means that nobody knows the figure of 38% of women among the journalists. There's a gap between the facts and their perception.
It's my turn to show you something significant. And I wanted to show you, Isabel, the man of the year 2000. It's you.
Ça s'appelle une...